I wanted to show you my water change system, maybe it'll help you all out. The way I designed it is my first rendition, or whatever you want to call it, is I had a bunch of parts laying out there, and I threw it together. So each one of these valves is pulling out of each one of these tanks. So I modified it with landscape drip line that they sell at Lowe's. They sell it 100 foot at a time, whatever. They sell the bags of 90s. They sell the valves. And what I do is I take the 90s, cut a small piece of that material, and put it together, build each one of these for the tanks with a valve on it. Each one of these lines runs to that main line that you've seen on the garage door. Each one of them's primed. How I prime it, first of all, each one of these drains the tank. So I can walk up here and I'm doing a water change right now. In fact, I'm doing a water change on this one right now. I'm draining the water on this one right now. How I refill the water, and I'll show you how I prime the whole system at the same time. But how I refill the water is my system, I'm on a well. I'm in the Eastern Kentucky water basin. So my well comes out real clean, like 120 TDS. So my water heater and my water coming into the house is all in the same area. So I bought a mixing valve. You can buy it on Amazon. It comes out to a regular spigot. Then I have a 100-foot reel on that spigot, so it's temperature controlled to the same temperature that's in this room, which is 78, 80 degrees. And it's on a reel, which this reel is a 100-foot reel. It can reach my entire house. So I can fill the 100 gallon that's in my bedroom. I can fill the tanks in the other fish room, which is, I'll go over all that later when I give you all an update of the whole fish room. But what I wanted to show you on this is once it's primed, and what I mean by primed is once you have suction on it and shut it off, there's always water in here. So there's always water in this whole system. For here. So when I turn this on, this creates a suction and it goes out the drain out underneath the garage door. I rent this house, so I can't drill no hole in the concrete or add a drain line, or so I had to improvise. So a 1/2-inch hole to a 1-inch hose going out the door is how the 1-inch hose going out the door is how it works. So each one of these is 1/2-inch line. With that hose that I showed you, the 100-foot hose that's on the reel, I took some of that same material, that 1/2-inch drip line, in these 1/2-inch 90s. So that way, and they just push on there, and you can see once they snap on there, they're good, they're not leaking. But say for instance, this one lost a prime. If that one lost a prime, being that my whole system's primed, my whole fish room set up this, all I'd have to do is turn this one on and then create the prime. But in order to start a fresh prime, like say I just put this rag together, all you need to do is turn your fitting and put it right in the end of that other hose line and turn it on, and it starts your system for you. After you start the first time, then you shut it off, then it's prime. So if you ever lose prime, I have prime with my water, 100-foot inline temperature controlled water. See, I run that 1/2-inch line. This was my first one I just threw together with the idea. A garden hose, PVC, I mean, there's all kinds on this first rendition. And then this is what it ended up being. These 1/2-inch strip line goes all the way through my fish room. All of them connect together and go out to that one line that I showed you previously. But all of them are primed and they stay primed. So I'm sucking the water out right now. Then, like when I'm doing water changes on this, say like I'm doing water changes on this rack. I don't need no fancy pump to suck this rack out or any of that. I just suck it down. When this one's down to that halfway level or whatever, and I don't use no fancy measurements, I just cut the pipes about that long. When it's drained down around halfway, I go to the next one, turn this one off. As I'm filling this one up with that hose, this one gets to halfway and I walk through this whole row in about 15 minutes. So I mean, this simplifies everything. I have to tell you, I'm late, so this has to be, I mean, it makes it simple. One other thing I wanted to tell you about. All this stuff is at Lowe's, you know,
or Home Depot.
Home Depot, I'm sorry, Home Depot. Gotta take that water to the room for. At Home Depot, here's the packaging. But the valves at Home Depot is like $3.50. Go to Amazon with that number right there, and you get a bag of 12, and I think the bag of 12 is like 15 bucks. Much cheaper through Amazon. And then on the, hold on. Then on the suction side, because you know I'm dealing with a lot of babies. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is my baby room. So I deal with a lot of babies. I mean, there'll be small babies that size, babies that size. Well, on a 1/2-inch tube, that gets sucked up in there. So I just took an old screen and old cheap zip ties and cut the screen, and it's an old piece of screen, and that's how I make my screen covers. I don't buy no fancy nothing. It's just an old screen, and it ain't gonna hurt nothing. You ain't gotta worry about all that. It don't matter what it's made out of. Most screens nowadays are made out of plastic anyway. There'll be an update on the fish room. My wife just like showing you more stuff in this book. That's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how I do water changes. And believe me, I want everything just, I don't want to spend a bunch of time. And there's one other thing that's part of the fish room that's part of it from the get-go. See, when I built the first one, I still had to have a python. So there's still a python here that's hooked up to the same system if I need it. I don't use it because I keep all the loam in there, because I can leave my establishment for several days, a week, 2 weeks, and my fish don't need anybody to mess with them. They're fine. They will not starve. That loam takes care of everything in there. Beneficial bacteria, all the good stuff's in these tanks. But anyway, that's another video. I just wanted to show you my water change system, how I take it out of the fish room, how I bring it back in. And this thing right here this idea ain't mine. I seen it at Aquarium Co-op. He was in Germany, and he was walking around one of them fish rooms in Germany, and they had a reel, the water on a reel. I said, oh, that's a good idea. I went and bought a reel that day. It's an excellent idea. But anyway, I'm Robert, Ray Aquatics, behind the camera solely with Ray Aquatics. I hope this helps. Like and subscribe, and let us know what you think. Thank you.